Why do we incomplete inside? Even when life is comfortable and everything seems fine on the outside, job is stable, relationships appear to be okay, health is not failing, there is still a strange heaviness within. A silent ache that doesn't scream but whispers all the time. There's food on the table, a roof above, a phone in hand, and even people who love us. Yet a quiet voice inside says, something is missing. This voice is not about material lack. It's a hollow feeling, a deep void inside the mind that no success, praise, or companionship can fill. It is not about how many friends surround us, but about the isolation we feel even among them. The crowd outside only makes us more aware of the emptiness within. We scroll endlessly through our phones, listen to music, watch endless videos, but at the core of all this activity is an escape from our own thoughts. The mind is constantly running, restless, dissatisfied. One moment it wants this, the next moment it wants that. And when it gets it, the excitement vanishes quickly like smoke. This cycle of longing and boredom, of chasing and collapsing, never truly ends. We keep thinking the next achievement, the next relationship, the next purchase will satisfy us. But every peak brings a valley behind it, and the valleys feel deeper each time. Look at an ordinary day. You wake up, check your phone. Someone has posted a vacation photo. Instantly a feeling of lack rises. Your room is fine, your coffee is warm, your day is peaceful. Yet now your mind tells you that you are not enough because someone else is having fun elsewhere. We don't even question the mind. We follow it like a shadow, believing whatever it says. If it says we are alone, we feel lonely. If it says we are behind in life, we feel rushed. If it says we are broken, we feel broken. We never stop and ask, who is this voice talking? Where does it come from? The thoughts are endless, but they are not random. They are patterns, repetitive movements of the mind that have continued for years. Thought is memory, and memory is dead. It carries the pain of the past and projects it onto the future. So even when today is peaceful, the mind brings in yesterday's wounds and tomorrow's fears. This movement creates suffering, not the events of life, but the mental resistance and interpretations we build around them. We say we are lonely, but loneliness is not because others are not around. It is because we are not truly with ourselves. We don't know who we are without our roles, our identities, our social images. Strip them away, and we panic. In silence, we feel lost. That is the void, an absence of self-knowledge, a gap created by never truly looking inward. We know more about celebrities than about our own inner world. We know how to fix machines, but not how to heal a hurting heart. We know how to entertain ourselves, but not how to sit with our own thoughts without distraction. So the mind stays loud, messy, and full of complaints. We become like beggars with a full bowl, never satisfied, always wanting more. We focus more on what we don't have than what we do. It's not because we are evil or negative. It's because we have been conditioned to compare. From childhood, we are taught that we are not enough until we become someone, until we win, until we are better than others. This comparison creates a deep wound. No matter what we have, someone will have more. And because the mind constantly compares, we always feel behind. We might be in a quiet park with birds singing, fresh air, and sunlight on our skin, but the mind says, I wish I were richer, and we miss the beauty in front of us. This habit of focusing on lack has become second nature. It's like a filter over our eyes. We don't see what is, we only see what is missing. When we begin to observe the mind quietly without judging or reacting, we start to see these movements clearly. A thought comes. It says, you are not good enough. Instead of agreeing or fighting, we just watch it. Who is this voice? Where does it come from? It is just a thought, arising and passing like a cloud in the sky. Another thought says, you should be doing more with your life. Watch that too. Notice how it creates tension in the body, how it pulls attention away from the present moment. The act of watching breaks the chain of identification. You are not the thought. You are the awareness in which the thought appears. This insight is not intellectual. It is something you discover when you silently sit with yourself and just observe, without trying to change anything, without resistance. The more we observe, the more we begin to see that thoughts are not personal. They are collective, old, and inherited. They come from society, family, past experiences, fears, and hopes. Yet we treat them as our own. A thought says, "You are lonely," and we accept it as a fact, without questioning it. But what if the thought is just a pattern, a habit? The moment we bring awareness to it, its power begins to fade. We suffer not because of the pain itself, but because we believe every thought blindly. We never ask, is it true? Is it real? Is it happening now? Or is it a story from the past or a worry about the future? Most suffering is not in the present moment. It is psychological, not actual. Right now, in this moment, as you read this, where is the problem? If you don't go into memory or imagination, there is just awareness, just being. But the mind doesn't stay here. It jumps into what went wrong or what might go wrong. And in this jumping, it creates anxiety, fear, regret, and discontentment. Think of someone who just got a job promotion. Everyone congratulates them. They smile, feel proud, but a few hours later the mind says, "Is this enough? What's next? What if I can't keep up?" Or it says, "I still don't feel happy inside." The achievement is real, but the satisfaction is temporary. The mind, like a hungry ghost, demands more. This is the structure of psychological suffering, an endless chase for something that never brings lasting peace. We don't suffer because of one event. We suffer because we are attached to the idea that life should be different. We resist what is. We compare. We expect. And when reality doesn't match our image, we feel pain. But the image is false. The ideal is an illusion. Even love, which should be freeing, becomes another source of suffering. We don't just love, we want to possess. We don't just care, we expect return. And when the other person doesn't meet our hidden demands, we feel betrayed. But the pain is not from the person. It is from our own mental image of how they should behave. We project our own insecurity, fear, and dependency onto others, and then suffer when they don't fulfill the role we imagined for them. The loneliness we feel is not because no one is there. It is because we are dependent on someone else to complete us. And when they leave or change, our illusion is shattered. In daily life, we constantly distract ourselves from this emptiness. We binge-watch shows, eat even when not hungry, scroll endlessly, or stay busy just to avoid silence. But silence is not the enemy. It is the doorway to understanding. In silence, the truth of the mind is revealed. If we sit quietly without reacting, the mind will show its patterns, its fears, its cravings, its insecurities. And in seeing them clearly without trying to escape, something begins to shift. A new intelligence awakens, not the intellect, but pure awareness. This awareness doesn't come from books or teachers. It comes from stillness, from looking inward without agenda. This awareness is like light in a dark room. The room has always been filled with furniture, dust, and shadows, but without light we stumble, trip, and hurt ourselves. We blame the furniture, but the problem is not the objects, it's the darkness. In the same way, our suffering is not from life itself, but from our blindness to how the mind works. When we turn the light of observation inward, we see how every thought, every emotion, every desire arises. We begin to notice how anger rises when our image of control is disturbed. We see how jealousy appears when the mind compares its limited self-image with someone else's temporary success. We see how sadness comes when expectations collapse. In this seeing, there is no need for judgment or suppression. We simply watch. And in watching, the power of those thoughts fades. They lose their grip because we are no longer caught in them. Take, for example, a person walking through a forest. The air is fresh, the birds are singing, the trees are still, but the person is thinking, "Why did she say that to me yesterday?" Or, "What if I fail next week's interview?" The body is in nature, but the mind is in conflict. The present moment is beautiful, but it is ignored. The mind projects problems that don't exist right now, and this is how life slips away. Not because beauty is missing, but because we are mentally absent. We think too much, and we feel too little. We carry the burden of 1,000 memories and future fears in every step, while the grass, the sky, the silence are patiently offering peace. If only we could see. This tendency to live in the mind rather than in the moment is the root of discontentment. We have been trained to believe that peace is somewhere far, after success, after marriage, after wealth, after recognition. But peace is not in the future. It is only ever in the now. The mind, however, doesn't know the now. It knows only thought, and thought is time. It is past and future, never present. That's why even when everything is going well, there is still unease inside. Because the mind says, "What if it doesn't last? What if I lose this?" It creates suffering out of even the best moments. That is the tragedy. Look at how we react when someone appreciates us. We feel good, but not because of the words. We feel good because it feeds our self-image. But when someone criticizes us, we feel pain, not because of the words, but because our image is threatened. So our happiness and suffering are both tied to a fragile mental identity. We don't know who we are beyond our name, status, beliefs, or body. That's why we feel empty, because we have built a life around the outer shell, not the inner reality. And when life shakes that shell, we collapse inward. This void we feel is not something to escape from. It is an invitation to go deeper, to see that all our efforts to become someone, to gather possessions, to gain approval, are just layers on top of a deep existential question. Who am I without all this? We have tried to fill this emptiness with everything: jobs, partners, entertainment, religion, habits, but it still returns. Because the void is not a flaw, it is the absence of falsehood. It is the silence that remains when we stop chasing illusions. It is not empty in the negative sense, it is empty of confusion. And in this emptiness, real peace can be found.